What's up, guys? Welcome back to Week 3 of Bison football. We're coming off a game that we actually should have ended up winning against the Commanders because we had the lead in the fourth quarter. In fact, a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter, and still ended up coming out with a 3-point loss. So hopefully this week we can end up taking on the Dolphins and end up getting our first win of the season. I think it's going to be a little difficult since they are 2-0 and we are 0-2, and we are facing an 87 overall team, both on offense and defense. And we are that 79 overall. So it is going to be a little tough, but hey, never say never. So looking at the Dolphins, obviously they still have Tua at quarterback. Not playing too bad. Got 500 yards in the 2 games, 45 for 66, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, but playing well enough for them to be 2-0 right now. Now looking at their rushing attack, it is led by the rookie Ashan, who does have 172 yards on 43 attempts and 3 touchdowns as well. Mostert's back there as well with 10 rushes for 41 yards and a touchdown as well. So those are 2 guys we're going to have to keep an eye on. Of course, the receivers are still pretty damn stacked. I mean, Tyreek Hill obviously is someone we have to worry about. Jalen Waddle. But then their tight end, Adam Troutman, is actually doing really well too. He's got their 2 touchdowns on the year. 10 for 97, not doing too bad, so someone we also have to keep an eye on too. But looking at their defense, Long and Van Ginkel are really leading their defense with 13 tackles apiece. Emmanuel Ogbah does have the 3 tackles for loss, as well as a couple guys with a few themselves. And in terms of sack, they only have 1 on the year, and that's Christian Wilkins. Only got that 1. So with our offensive line, I'm really hoping that we're not going to give up another one. In terms of interceptions, they do have 2. However, we really are a run-first offense, so I don't think we're going to be throwing too much, so hopefully we're not going to be adding any to their interception total. And they've yet to force a fumble this season too, so I'm really hoping that we can actually have a pretty flawless offensive performance here, and hopefully we can end up getting a dub here. So after last week's experiment putting Dominique Robinson at quarterback, I think we're going to have to actually revert that and go back to Lane Johnson. I think he had better awareness, obviously, and probably a better passing quarterback, too. So I know we're not going to be able to scramble, but I don't want to really have to risk having to fumble the ball. So I think keeping Lane Johnson back there to actually be able to hit a couple of our targets is probably a good idea. So we're going to get into practice. We're going to see if we can get anyone with a couple upgrades, and then we'll get into the game against the Dolphins. Practice is done. We're ready to get into this game. We are going into week 3, obviously, again, against Miami, the 87 overall. We are the 79 overall. It's crazy. Our 85 defense is just too short of their defense too. So we have a pretty tall order coming here, especially since we are playing in Miami. So let's head to Miami and let's get this game on the road. Let's kick this off. I really feel like the squib kick again is the right way to go. I feel like we have a better shot at actually hitting them back a little further than if we ended up just going for a normal kick.
Set up with good field position here as he gets this up.
You know, that's about within the same range as if we would have kicked it out of bounds. Tua gets on the field here, as we saw earlier. 500 yards already this season, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Let's try to put him under some pressure here and make sure he doesn't improve those stats. 1st and 10, let's start off this drive with a really good defensive stop here. Setting him in motion. Oh man, I totally read the jet sweep there, but they end up rushing up the middle for a good 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4, I'm not going to get fooled by that again, I promise. Oh, but they do get the short pass, and of course we tackle them just for a gain of 9. Now the problem is it does look like they're in field goal range, so we need to get a pretty good stop here on 3rd and 6. Just an incomplete pass. Oh my gosh, left him wide open over across the middle. I don't know who was supposed to be there, but it was obviously no one. And they get a 21-yard gain on that. There were 4 guys who were supposed to be back there, and unfortunately no one ended up taking it. So let's rush 5 on this one. Oh, and they get a big hole up the middle. They get a 1st down. We got to send 5. Part of me is a little worried that they end up going for a draw, but let's see what they end up doing. 3rd and goal. Oh. He ends up getting free, and of course, Jalen Waddle. And unfortunately, when you go man-to-man, we're going to have a hard time covering those guys out there. Should have probably dropped back into zone, but thought maybe we could have generated enough pressure. Look at those season stats. How terrifying. As always, we're going to be leaning on Montez Sweat here. We need to answer back after their first quick touchdown. Rush to the outside, get that block. Not bad. End up getting a little gain of 4 there. And after last week's 31 for 286 and 3 touchdowns, we need a really big game out of him again. So 2nd and 6, if we can get past those 4, it looks like the middle is pretty wide open. And we do, and we get ahead for a 1st down and a little bit more. Montez Sweat, 2 for 15 to start the game, and we're up to the 40-yard line. Let's keep leaning on Sweat, and obviously this offensive line, which is insane too. Good hole right there. We get up the middle, we get past midfield, and we are up past their 40 now. Let's go. So the run to the outside's really been working, so we need to keep pushing it like that. Some good blocks. Look at that hole right there too. Just another 10-yard gain. Sweat getting up there, down to the 28. Doesn't look like they can really stop him, and it looks like they're really kind of overloading the right here. So I actually trust flipping it to the left side, because I see 3 guys, I see 3 blockers. We can do this. Look at that. We get the block on the outside. He breaks free and gets in the end zone. Montez Sweat with his first touchdown of the game, and we answer back after their first touchdown in their first drive as well. Yeah, unfortunately, like last game, I don't think we're going to be able to actually kick an extra point. Let's see if we can go up with this 2-point conversion right here. And it looks like the middle's pretty wide open too. Oh, cuts it up, and we get the 2-point. Now we're ahead, 8-7. Now it's up to our defense to really kind of hold them and see if we can keep this lead. So we're actually going to send 5 on this one and blitz a little bit, just because again, with Tua, I don't feel like his accuracy is really good under pressure. But we are also not good in zone either, as they get a nice little gain there for 10. All right, now if we're going to blitz like we are here on this one, we're going to have to drop everyone back into zone. I do not trust our guys in man here. Come on, Aaron. Oh, look at that. Is that Myles Garrett? Oh, you bet it is. Coming through the middle and getting that sack. Oh, gosh. Absolutely obliterated. Look at that, just running free. Now, if there is a more scary thing in the world than Myles Garrett running up the middle at you just unblocked like that, I do not want to experience it. 3rd and 20, I think we're going to have to drop back more into coverage. We're only going to send 4 on this one. We want to be a little safer here. But I still think, especially with this line, we're going to generate enough pressure that Tua is not going to have a ton of time. Especially with some of these guys in the zone like that. And he gets it away, and now we got a 4th and 20. Nice. And on the 43, they're going to have to punt here. Last week, wait till you see what he does this week. Because you bet we're going to lean on him yet again, because he has been absolutely dominant at the beginning of this game, and obviously the last couple weeks too. Yeah, we're going to be flipping this one to the right though. Feel a little safer. Finds a little hole there. Breaks the tackle a little bit, but gains ahead for another little bit of 6. After the gain of 6 by Sweat, we're going to hand it right back off to him as the last play of the first quarter. Let's have the time wind out. No! Not the way you want to end the first quarter. We were afraid that that was going to happen, and he ends up getting the ball knocked out, and unfortunately, we end up turning the ball over, and it is going to be Dolphin ball at the start of the second. And that is the downside to having linemen be your running backs in your other skill positions. They don't necessarily have the best security, but you better believe they can rush and end up stopping the run as well. And that's exactly what we did. I think that's Dexter Lawrence yet again with another TFL. Bosa's rushing off the edge. We're going to send 4 again. Oh, he's in the zone too. Oh, but they drop it off across the middle. Oh, and that's going to be a face mask, unfortunately. Yeah. And what would be about a third and 5 is now going to be a 1st and 10 on the 17. Again, we got to put a little bit of pressure on him, so we're going to send 5, and let's see if we can get Tua to throw the ball out. Oh, come on. I thought we could have actually made this stop, but unfortunately, they get the first down. It is now 1st and goal. Are you kidding me? We actually let them end up getting the first down, but we'll send 5 here. Let's see if we can stop them, and we don't. That is not what happens, unfortunately. Tyreek Hill, a guy that we knew we were going to have a hard time stopping, ends up getting in the end zone on a quick little pass. And we are now back down to potentially 14-8. All right, let's start with the run again, because that's what we do best, apparently. We just need to make sure that we don't fumble on this one. Found a nice little hole. I don't know how we got through that, but ended up getting 8 yards on that one. We're going toss zone. Oh, gosh. All right, you know what? I trust him. Let's do a little toss to the left. We'll cut up. Oh, we have a hold, unfortunately. which sucks because this huge touchdown run is going to get called back. Oh, that is so upsetting. Yeah, because we see the penalty. And unfortunately, again, I think we're going to be seeing a hold. Yep. And that touchdown gets called back. And instead of a touchdown, we now have a 2nd and 9. As much as I hate to say it, we are in 4-down territory because we don't really have a punter. So we just need to get some yards here and make it a manageable... Oh, we got Sweat. Beautiful. Juke. Oh. I didn't mean juke. I meant to truck them. And unfortunately, we have a 4th and 1. They're leaving the middle just wide open right here. Let's flip the play, and let's do a fullback dive right up the middle here. And thankfully, falls ahead for 2 yards. So thankfully, we keep the drive alive. And now we just got to keep going with the run. Fresh set of downs. Got to keep going back to Sweat. He's been our entire offense pretty much all season. And there it is. 1 man to beat. Tries to juke around him, but gets a good gain of about 13 to 14 yards there. I don't know why, but we have our backup running back in the game. I am hoping that is not an injury, but I did not see anything to Sweat. So let's give our backup a little chance here. It's going to be his first run of the season. Gets a good hole as well. Let's go just hold on to the ball, buddy. Smith with a 15-yard rush. Let's be a little daring here, and let's actually go for the screen. And it looks like it's actually going to go to Hutchinson, too, which I am not upset about it at all. Great pass. Get some good blocks. Look at that pancake. Look at that pancake. And Hutchinson gets up there for a good gainer. We can actually hit Sweat out of the backfield. I don't know why I'm doing this because we should run, but let's try to hit Sweat out of the backfield here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wow, what a stop. What a stop. And again, because we do not have a kicker who can reliably kick a field goal, we are going to have to go for a passing play here on 4th and 3. And let's see what we can get.
Looking to throw. Johnson.
We have no. Hey, why did you turn upfield? Why did you turn upfield? I still wanted to go. Brother, you did not keep your route. I thought he was going to be fine going across the field. No one was there. So we turned the ball over with 50 seconds left. But we're going to send a couple here, and let's try to generate a little bit of pressure.
Setting to throw on first down is
No, we do not do that. But we just need to stop them so they don't get any points. We're just rushing forward, dropping everyone else back into coverage. Just prevent the big plays. Do not let them get into field goal range. And we end up stopping them at the 44, right on the edge. After a really poor throw by Tua, we do have a 2nd and 10 on the 44. We just need to push them back a little bit more. Oh, get out there. No, where's the coverage? And unfortunately, they end up getting a 1st and 10. Oh, they're going to try to run one more play. 5, 4, 3. Uh-oh. No! And last play of the quarter. Somehow, with 8 guys back in coverage, we end up giving up the touchdown. Rivers, why are you getting in the middle of that? You know that's not your team, right? I don't know how. Maybe it's just because we sent 3 and we actually gave them some time. But unfortunately, the Dolphins score again. And what should have been points for us at the end of the half turned into points for them. We're going to keep focusing on the outside run because that really worked for us. And then really, we're going to be defending the medium pass as well because Tua seems to be getting the ball out. And we are not generating the rush that I thought that we were going to generate. Let's start this drive off on the good foot and let's run to the outside here. Get a good gain. No real blocks out there, dang. But we still cut up field and get a good gain of 5. We're going to go for a screen here and let's see if we can get a 1st down. 3rd and 7. Thankfully we get it, even though it was off his back foot, and we do get a 1st down. Montez Sweat and Lane Johnson. Switching him back to quarterback I think was really the right play here. I'm terrified every time I drop back into coverage though, I'm not going to lie. So 1st and 10, we're going to go back to the run because, again, I feel best about it. And that is exactly why we try to juke him. But still, we get a really good gain, and now we're back past midfield. 3rd and 1, this is 4-down territory, so we're just going to run up the middle on this one. Let's just hope we can get it. Oh, he gets met in the backfield and gets and gets stopped for no gain. We're going fullback dive here. It worked last time, so we're going to make it work this time too. Hey, I trust you. Just get those 2 yards. Oh, and more. My dude! He now is 10 yards on the game. 2 rushes. Let's go. So after the gain of 6, we're going to go up the middle again. Looks pretty open. Look at that hole right there. And we get ahead for the first down. Montez Sweat knocking on the door for his 2nd touchdown of the game. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it looks like we could potentially set the edge here. If Collins can get out there, I think we have an easy touchdown. And he does set the edge. Come on, get out there. Montez Sweat still using his speed to get ahead for 7 yards, though. Thankfully, Sweat's back out there. We can run up the middle here. Let's see if we can get enough yards for the first. Oh, we get some for the first. And almost for a touchdown, too. Gets down to the 2-yard line. Knocking on the door for another 200-yard gain, too. I guess we're going to go slants here? I kind of like this look. Oh, why are you... I am hitting the button to throw it, and he never threw it. What is he doing? And that little blunder might be the reason why we don't get another touchdown here. So 4th down, we need to go for it here. Let's go for a screen play. Let's hit Hutchinson over there. Oh my gosh. That was a terrible play. I don't know where he was going. I don't know where he was going at all. I thought he was going to be just free over there. He didn't go behind his blockers at all. And this is turning into a nightmare pretty quickly. Another missed opportunity for a touchdown, but we're going to be sending a little bit of a blitz here. I want to see if we can potentially get them and get a safety. Now they're... Ooh. Oh, nice. Good play right there. And they end up knocking it out. We're going to send 5 on this one. We need to generate a little bit of pressure here, especially since Tua is not good under pressure. No! How do you let him get that ball out? And he ends up getting a gain of about 14, and they get a first down. Like, we have the best defensive linemen here, and they are not doing anything against this front. Oh, man, and they get a big hole up the middle. I was expecting another pass for some reason, despite the fact that they are up. I get another good gain of 10. Come on now. Oh, look at that bull rush. Oh, but he still gets free. And I was hoping he would fumble the ball there, but just gets cut up and another 10-yard gain. We need to stop. I want the ball back. I want the ball back. But 2nd and 1, let's try to stop the run here. Send in 5. Oh, and just a little dump pass there off the Tyreek Hill. Ends up getting the first down. All right, this is a big stop right here if we can get it. 3rd and 3 here after that gain of about 5. So let's see if we can stop them. No, not with that coverage. And unfortunately, it gets out of bounds for another first down. They are just running all over us on this defense, too. Oh, no. Yep, another just wide open receiver. And again, I know that our defense, especially our secondary, is just not elite or anything like that. But, man, I was hoping that at least our zone could actually keep them a little contained. But look at him just wide open across the field. And that's kind of what we were looking for on that last 4th down pass from us. But unfortunately, our guy didn't keep running his route. Now they're really going to be going for 2 here, so they can put us back by 3 full touchdowns. But, you know what? Oh, I was hoping we could have actually gotten him, but we unfortunately could not get to him, and they end up getting the 2-point conversion. But again, in 4 minutes, trying to get 21 points with this team, it's going to be difficult. Well, since we kind of want to get some yards here, and I don't feel like rushing is really going to be the best way to do it, throw a screen over to Sweat. Let's try to get some yards that way. If he can actually grab the ball, which he was not able to. We're going to just go back to the run then. Because again, at this point, it is just going to be stat padding. What a good draw. Oh, buddy, what are you doing? I thought he was going to be our lead blocker there, but he ended up turning back. So since this game's out of reach, let's go for a pass here. We might be able to hit Sweat out of the backfield. We can. Nice, and he actually gets that reception. We get another first down. I don't know what we're running here, but whatever it is. Oh, we're running the same play. Let's go.
Here's Johnson on 1st and 10.
Let's throw it out of bounds. Oh my gosh, he actually makes the reception. And we're actually 6 for 9. Well, we might have to go back to a run soon, but not after this screen pass. Oh, he's got some good blockers. Unfortunately, we didn't lead up as much as we should have. But we end up getting another reception, and that looked like Aiden Hutchinson on that reception. Well, looks like we're going to be just going for passes then. Well, let's see if we can actually hit Sweat up the middle here. Oh my gosh, lofted it over his head. And we get up there for another first down. But let's rush to the line. And don't even worry about it. We're going to take it to the 2-minute warning. And let's just try to score. Let's see if maybe we can actually get our first passing touchdown of the season here. Oh my gosh, how did he get that ball away? But it ends up getting dropped, so now we're 3rd and 9. If they don't read this, I will be extremely surprised, but we are going for yet another screen pass. Yeah, they read it, but still catches it. And now we have a 4th and 13. Time for a last-ditch effort right here. Let's see if we can actually get our first passing touchdown. It's going to be a stretch, but let's give it a shot. Look at that! Lofted up and absolutely no shot. We had no chance at that whatsoever. I was hoping we were actually going to put up more of a fight. And we did have 2 drives that probably should have ended in touchdowns. But unfortunately couldn't get it. And we ended up stopping them for a gain of 9. Again, going into this game, we were really outmatched. So I did not have high hopes for this game whatsoever, especially considering the fact that we don't have a kicker. We don't really have a quarterback that's going to reliably get passes off, and especially if we throw it deep. So, again, we knew it was going to be a little tough, but, you know, we end up coming out there. We ended up scoring at least, but again, 2 opportunities that we ended up kind of blowing that would have actually made this game a little more respectable, I guess. How did we let Tua score 4 times? That's rough. But looking at Lane Johnson, for all intents and purposes, pretty, I guess, relatively speaking, really efficient game for him. 9 for 14, a couple drops in there, which I guess weren't his fault. But again, 64% completion rate, 74 yards, 77.7 rating. That's got to count for something. Rushing, Montez Sweat, 29 for 182, another really good game. 1 touchdown, but 2 fumbles. And that is probably the worst thing about him. Of course, we had Ellerson Smith get in there for his 2 carries for 12 yards, and Vea, with our fullback dives, ended up getting 2 rushes for 10 yards as well. Now, for the receiving, obviously, we only had 2 receivers catch the ball. We had Montez Sweat, 7 for 52. Wish he could have actually gotten a score there. And then Hutchinson, 2 for 22. Now, we did have a couple penalties that really hurt us. Obviously, we had a touchdown that got called back with Montez Sweat, but not much we could have done about that. But look at all those pancakes, though. Now, unfortunately, those didn't necessarily result in touchdowns, but what can you do? Defensively, Basham had a really good game. He's had those 6 tackles. Kind of got spread around for the most part, which is pretty good. We had those 2 tackles for loss, 1 from Dexter Lawrence, 1 from Myles Garrett. Obviously, that 1 sack as well. No interceptions, no fumble recoveries, so we knew it was going to be tough again because they have a really good offense. And they are pretty good with securing the ball, but we were hoping that the defense could actually jar a couple balls loose. But no such luck in this game, and we're just going to have to keep our sights set forward and see if we can do some good stuff in Week 4. So this is something I actually missed last week. So last week, Montez Sweat ended up getting the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Look at that, 31 carries for 286. Obviously, he had the 1 fumble, but he did have the 3 rushing touchdowns as well, so I'm very happy to see that. We'll do this check-in next week, but it looks like next week we're going to be facing the Bears, who are 1-2. They're an 81 overall, and as a Bears fan, that makes me really happy to see. I will be in Chicago, so I figure, well, it is Week 4, so it might not be that cold, thankfully, but I think we're going to be all right. Coming from San Diego to Chicago, though, we'll definitely see. Got that time change. But either way, next week, Week 4, we're going to be facing the Bears away at Soldier Field. It's going to be another tough game, but this one, kind of like the Week 2 matchup against the Commanders, should actually be a winnable game, especially with Montez Sweat going up against his former team for, I guess, the last couple of weeks. I think it's going to be a nice little homecoming. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go down and drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week against the Bears.